let's go back to you, Jim. And I tell Conrad this because I didn't see it. But go back to one of my favorite moments. Give me the history on that promo. Because I said to Conrad last night, we were talking about our podcast with you today. I said the promo that he cut on Raw about Scott Hall, NWO.
Yeah.
When they were at WCW, was one of the greatest promos I ever heard in my life. Do you remember that, Jim?
Well, actually, and it set off a whole big thing, and people are still watching it on YouTube today, thanks to the internet. But what happened was,
how did that come about? I don't even remember how it came about.
Well, they had just done the parody of you guys, the flair for the old, the skull cap for Arn, and the whole 9 yards. And I was up there in Stamford. Yeah. And Kevin Kelly, the announcer, who you remember, calls me up one day and says, "We got a thing called Bite This on our website." I said, "What is it?" "It's an audio program." Well, this is 1997. Nobody's listening to audio on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. They said, "We just talk about stuff. You want to come on?" Okay. Well, they asked a question about that, and I gave my true opinion about the fact of the matter. And it wasn't complimentary to the NWO or Hogan. Well, the next day, or a day or two later, Vince calls me at home and he says, "What did you say on Bite This?" And I'm like, "Oh, my God." You know, they told me I could say anything I wanted. Nobody was listening. No. He said, "More feedback on that program, such as it was on the internet, than everything we've ever done put together. So we want you to say the same thing on Raw."
Yeah, that's what I knew you said it on Raw. Okay, I got that right. Okay.
Yeah. I said, "Do you want me to say this on Raw?" "Oh, yeah," because they was the Monday Night Wars, and they were trying anything to come up with something, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to call his attorney, McDivitt, first to make sure that what I said was not libelous or actionable in any way. Yeah. And then I said it again.
Yeah, by the way, don't screw with Jerry McDivitt.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, he said, "No," he said, "we can't be sued for any of that, so go ahead." And that's how that came about.
Well, what was the promo? Tell me.
Oh, my God. Well, that was basically I took the NWO to task for being a bunch of prima donnas that had soaked the wrestling business and the promoters for a ton of money that they hadn't drawn on guaranteed contracts, while making mockery of guys who've given their blood, sweat, and tears to the wrestling profession and drawn huge crowds all over it. And I ended up with the famous phrase, "Hulk Hogan may be a household word, but so is garbage, and it stinks when it gets old, too."
Oh, wow.
And it got quite a stir.
You think?
Wow. What if now when after you Jesus, I don't remember that, but what did Vince say when you came back to Gorilla after that one?
Well, just to make sure they didn't have me do it live, because to make sure that I didn't. And sometimes I get going too far, and I may have said something that I didn't clear with the lawyer, so they put it on tape. They played it on the screen, and it got a nice little pop.
But it did air on Raw eventually.
Oh, yeah, it aired on Raw that night. It was just a pre-taped interview.
What did Vince say? Was he happy with it?
He liked it. They had me start doing more of them, but the thing is, since it was me telling the truth, I was able to get away with knocking both companies. Yeah. And I could take up for people that, I genuinely thought were deserving of same and get a few knocks in, but then they started wanting to, "Well, why don't you say this?" And that didn't work because that wasn't what I really thought, so I kind of did the thing where I would duck down in the back in production meetings, and after a few weeks, they forgot about it.